how are you? Welcome to the last class of this week. Today, Friday, our objective is to study and learn about telecommunications, what they are, and some examples of them. So all you're gonna need is the document of always, and you're gonna need your science notebook. Okay, so telecommunications. Well, this is not a new topic for you. You actually know a lot about this. You use this every day, and you're actually using it right now. Okay, so what are telecommunications? It refers to all the media that we use to communicate with someone that is not in the same place as us. Nowadays, there are many ways to communicate with other persons, but 200 years ago, the only way you could send a message to someone that was not with you was through a letter.
The postal service to receive and send letters has evolved a lot with time. To send a letter, people had to write it, put it in an envelope, and put a stamp on it. The time it would take to a letter to get to its destination depended on how far it was. Sometimes people had to use planes so the letters could be sent. The postal service was a great innovation that changed the world and the communication. In the 1940s, it could take up to 3 months for a letter to get from Europe to the United States. In 1836, Samuel Morse, Joseph Henry, and Alfred Bell invented the electric telegraph. This was the first system that allowed people to communicate from long distances. But there was a problem. It could only communicate pulses of electricity, so it couldn't send voice or text. So a code for communicating was created. Samuel Morse created this code, which translated electrical pulses to messages. Originally, it only translated numbers, but later it expanded to include letters. That is how the Morse code was born. This is the Morse code alphabet, which consists of dots and dashes. Later on, in 1876, Alexander Graham Bell developed and registered the first telephone. But as we know, telephone has also changed a lot from over the years. The very first company that created a wireless telephone was Motorola. But these were definitely not as the ones we know right now, which are so much different and efficient.
Now, you might have noticed that phone numbers all start with a specific number when they are from a certain place. For example, here in Aguascalientes, the phone numbers start with 449. This is called the area code.
Another very important form of telecommunication is the television. That, as we can see in these little clips, has changed a lot with the years. And of course, let's not forget the radio.
And without a doubt, today the most important and the biggest way of communicating is the internet.
The internet was born over 50 years ago. Computers back then were as big as rooms, and scientists used them to communicate during the Cold War. In 1962, a scientist named J.C.R. Licklider proposed the idea of a network of computers that could talk to one another. In 1969, the first message was sent from a computer to another over the ARPANET. In 1971, Vinton Cerf invented a way of computers to communicate virtually across the world. His invention was the Transmission Control Protocol, later called Internet Protocol, or as we know it today, the IP. In 1991, Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web, a network that anyone could use, not only the government. In those days, the internet worked using dial-up, meaning the telephone line, so you could not use the internet and the telephone at the same time.
Now, have you heard that when there is a problem with the computer or also with video games, we say that there is a bug?
In the year 1947, the computers used in the US Navy experienced a problem. To find out what was going wrong, they opened up the computer and inside they found what was causing the problem. A bug. They wrote it in their lab report, and since then, any error in computer programming is referred to as a bug.
Alright, so what you have to do for this topic is very simple.
Your first activity is to copy all this topic in your science notebook. You need to handwrite it all and include the pictures with color. And your second activity is to answer all of these questions in your notebook. For question number 2, you need to write your name using the Morse code you have here. Don't copy the Morse code complete, only write your name. The answers of the other questions, you can find them in this video, so pay attention to it.
Okay, so this is what you have to send me about today's topic. Number 1, send me a picture of the topic handwritten in your notebook with all the pictures, okay? Remember that they have to be colored. And second, send me a picture of the questions, and please don't forget to write the title, write the date, and make a good letter so I can read it. Okay, kids, that is all for today. Once you finish, remember to clean up all your work area, your tables, your chairs, your papers, notebooks, everything you used. I'll see you next week. Remember to study for your exams. Bye-bye.